Welcome to Real Estate 360, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Mike Ambrosio, will provide you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate, and much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome in. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. How was that, Joe?
That was good? That was good. I like that. Really good, actually.
This is Mike D'Ambrosio with Real Estate 360 Radio. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. This happy St. Patty's Day. I guess you're supposed to say St. Patrick's Day according to my future in-laws.
Is that right? Not St. Patty's?
Yeah, because apparently I think that's a female.
So,
is
that right?
St. Patrick's Day.
Learn something new every day.
That's right. I learn a lot around those Irish folk, let me tell you. We're talking anything and everything real estate, providing you great information and education. We have a great show for you in store today. You guys will probably recognize the, I guess, not really a guest, kind of a co-host today.
A guest. Your guest.
Yeah, exactly. Joe Cucchiara is in studio today. And before we get to we got a lot of stuff to get to today, but just a reminder for those of you just tuning in, there's a couple different ways you can listen to our show. That is on the radio at KDOW 1220 AM. You can also listen to us live online at kdow.biz. And KDOW also has an app. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, I try to say it every week. Go in and download it today. It's really easy to use, and it's a great app. So plus you can listen to us anywhere and everywhere. So that's always a good thing. And speaking of that, we come to you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. I'm on Mondays, and we are a live show. And today especially, we got kind of an open forum today. We wanted to be a little bit loose with it. You know, St. Patrick's Day is all about having a little fun, being loose, having a couple beers. So this is kind of an open forum today. So we do have some content to get to. But if you've ever thought about calling in or ever had any questions, comments, or suggestions, today, March 17th, 2014, is the day to do it.
I agree.
So,
have some fun, right? Let's have some fun. St. Patrick's Day. I almost said St. Patty's. You caught me already.
Exactly.
St. Patrick's Day. Give us a call. Check in. Yeah, it's a great time to check in for sure.
And that number is 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220. I'll give that number out all throughout the show. And, we'd love to hear your suggestions on future topics or guests or any other content that you desire. And if you miss any shows or want to sign up for updates, visit the website at re360radio.com. So, all right. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let's get into it. Just a little bit of history on St. Patrick's Day, I guess, for those of you that aren't Irish like Joe or myself.
You're more committed to the Irish now, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm
about to be.
I'm in it for the long haul. For those of you that don't know, I'm marrying a full Irish girl. So
call and congratulate Mike. Let's say that. Let's throw that out too. Call and congratulate Mike for his upcoming wedding. So that's another reason to call.
Are they going to congratulate me, or are they going to say, "What are you doing?"
We'll find out.
So anyway, St. Patrick brought Christianity to Ireland, so it's the Saints' Day, and the reason the shamrock is a big symbol for that is he used the shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity of Christianity. So often associated with heavy drinking in America, I think as most holidays in America, we probably embellished it a little bit, and so that's kind of why we're at where we are today. But oh well. It's always a fun holiday, and I hope you're wearing your green today, or else I'm pinching you through the microphone today. So let's get into it. Let's get into some real estate now, because we don't need to talk about Irish people the whole time. Let's talk about Italian.
Good idea.
All right. So what do you want to start with today? I know we got a couple of topics we want to get to, and we obviously want to keep the phone lines open for people to call in with any questions. 1-800-516-1220. But, let's get started.
Yeah, I think, Mike, you and I have talked for a while, and we want to do shows like this every once in a while to really put the focus back on. We're going to talk a little bit about unethical mortgage practices. I'll address those. I spoke to that a little bit actually on Friday, if you were tuning in, and I'm going to continue that a little bit today. We didn't spend a lot of time on it. And the reason is we spend a lot of time, energy, and resources on educating you, getting information out to help you make wise financial decisions, and we're proud of that. We want to do that on a regular basis. That will continue. However, we feel it's our obligation, even though this is the industry that we serve. I mean, I'm a loan officer, mortgage planner, Mike's in the real estate business, but we need to call our industry out from time to time too. So we don't want to be the so-called homers, right? Or the people that are blind and we're just going to make these, just sugarcoat things, for instance. When there's a reality out there and there's stuff that happens, we want to bring it to your attention. It's our obligation to do that. And that's one of the things Mike and I are going to talk about today. So I'll talk a little bit about the mortgage side of the unethical practices. One of the things that stands out, and if you get a caller, Mike, just let me know. We could take a break on what I'm saying. But one of the things I'll throw out there that's happening on a regular basis, even more so now, is when you pull a credit report. When I pull a credit report to do a mortgage for a client, the credit reporting bureaus actually sell that information to outside companies, so they could sell it to anybody they want, which means these people can then market to those people, and they know that they're pulling a credit report for a loan, and they market to them.
Oh yeah.
Do you have someone on?
We
there?
do have a caller.
Okay, good.
Let's get back to that.
Great.
Let's get back to that point. But we have Glenn in Pleasanton. Glenn, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Glenn, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you
Am
for
I
the
on
call.
the air?
You are on the air. You are on St. Patrick's Day, AM 1220.
Yay! Hey, my son bought a home in Arizona a couple months ago, and when they did the inspection, they found a pipe that leaked and some mold, and so they said they repaired it. He looked at it; it looked like it was fine. He signed off on everything, and now he's been in the house a month, and the mold is reappearing through the wall, and there's a wet spot in that area again. And he's called his real estate agent. He's called his home, whatever, insurance policy or whatever.
Right.
And he's getting zero response from the realtors, and home inspection people are saying, oh, it's not our fault. We're not responsible for it. So I'm wondering what you should do next.
That's a tough one. I would say, and this is kind of going along the lines that we're going to talk about today. Is First of all, as realtors should be helping them out. Right. Secondly, I don't know what type of guarantees that company had, and I don't know, I want to preface this answer with the fact that I'm not a mold specialist or a termite specialist, but what it sounds like to me, he might need to get maybe an attorney involved or someone that can help him look at all the documents and try to contact these mold people and say, hey, look, you didn't do your job correctly, or you need to, we need to go further in another direction, or he might be stuck and have to go with another company and just do it all over again. I don't know, Joe. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a great. I mean, Mike's right. This is perfect. We're kind of like what we're talking about today. First of all, Mike's right. It's a shame that the real estate agent that's representing them won't even return his calls. That to me is just ridiculous. Not that he's at fault or blame or she or whatever, but they should support that person.
Right.
But secondly, so if they're not doing anything, Glenn, what we could do is, if you want to hold on, we could get your information, and Mike or I, we could get you some information of either a real estate attorney or maybe even a mold specialist. Obviously it's in Arizona, so it could be different from state to state, but we may be able to give you some resources at least to kind of get started and help them out if you like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, the bottom line is that if, depending on the warranty, right? Depending on if there's work done, if it showed up, there's a lot involved. So we're not trying to be vague. It's just really hard to know. But you do need to get down to the bottom, because mold is serious and it can make people sick.
It's very serious, definitely. You want to get it fixed as soon as possible.
Right.
Well, thank you. His biggest frustration is his realtor won't get back to him, like you said. He thought he'd get support there, and he didn't.
Yeah, well, that's a perfect segue for us, and thanks for the call, Glenn. Stay on the line and give your information to Kevin, and I'm going to address kind of what Glenn was talking about.
Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn. In real estate, one of my biggest value propositions for my clients is I'm not just a burn and turn realtor, right? I'm going to be this is going to be a relationship for a long time, whether you like it or not. No, I want to be there. I want to be around for a long time. I want to be a resource for not just anything real estate, but us in this business, we have resources for a lot of different things: contractors, inspectors, attorneys, whatever. We have relationships with a lot of different, aspects of business. So I want to be that resource for you. But on top of that, in Glenn's son's situation too, I mean, this is a serious situation.
Yes, it is.
He helped him purchase this property, and now he's not talking to him. Only a month after it closes. I mean, that's crazy.
It's frustrating, Mike, and this is a great topic today, and we'll pick up on it if we have to at another show. But a perfect example of what Mike said, too many of the people in this business, and it's very similar, believe me, the loan business and the real estate business, I call them, they're too transactional focused instead of relational. Right. They can't wait to get that check. They're focused on that check instead of focused on the long-term success of that client, either moving out of the house, selling the home, financing the home. And so I'm going to jump back real quickly to this credit report, and we have a lot to talk about. So one of the what I consider unethical practices, unfortunately, I'm not sure that we could do much legally, but so when I'm pulling mortgage, when I pull a credit report to help someone with a mortgage on a refinance or a purchase, the credit reporting bureaus, this is what's sad, ladies and gentlemen, as a consumer, this should infuriate you. The credit reporting bureaus, they sell that personal information to people that want to buy it. For instance, Wells Fargo or Quicken or B of A could say, we want 10,000 names in this zip code in this area when someone pulls their credit report, and they'll sell that information. To me, that is ridiculous, and I would be outraged as a consumer that they're selling my personal information, to know that just because one of us or me, or it doesn't matter about me, anyone's pulling a credit report, that all of a sudden, thousands of people can know that someone's pulling your credit report. To me, it's crazy. So there's a very unethical practice in the mortgage industry that I would keep an eye out for. I've had it just happen recently, and they went as far as, and I'll just say it because they are Quicken Loans, they went as far as send an email to my client that said, we noticed that you went online, inquired about a loan. Well, my client was enraged. He emailed to me and said, Joe, what is this? He never went online and inquired about any loan. Here's what they did. They knew that I pulled credit to pre-qualify him, so they lied about it. And it's a marketing strategy that's unethical. Yeah. And they're trying to get him to, pick up the phone or respond to that email to see if they could get business from him.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. And for anyone that has bought a home recently or gotten a loan recently within the past year, give us a call. Let us know, because I know I bought back in 2012 and I got a loan, and the amount of ads and paperwork that I've gotten since then is ridiculous, and it looks real. Like the stuff that you're getting, it looks real. Yeah. And for people that aren't in the business, like I'm in the business, so I know most of it's BS, right? But for people that aren't in the business, I mean, it can be really, really confusing. And just like your client, maybe if he didn't know, he would have gone in Quicken Loans or whoever, So it looks like we got to. We'll take the call on the other side of the break, because this is going to be a funny one. But give us a call if you have any other questions. It looks like we got a caller on the line. 1-800-516-1220. 1-800-516-1220. It's Monday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. And we're having an open forum today, so give us a call. And we're talking anything and everything in real estate on this Monday afternoon.
Welcome back to Real Estate 360. Streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. Again, your host for today's edition of RE360 Radio, Mike D'Ambrosio.
There we go.
Settle down, don't take a fit. You drank a demon straight from hell. They almost nearly won as well. You wiped the floor with victory. The puked until you fell asleep.
There we go. Welcome back.
I love it.
Welcome back. It's Mike D'Ambrosio and Joe Cucchiara on Real Estate 360 Radio, KDOW AM 1220. Give us a call at 1-800-516-1220. We got an open forum today, and we're having a great time on the show today. It's all about a good time on St. Patrick's Day. And speaking of that, looks like we have another caller, Kevin, who's from Ireland, and he's got a correction for me. What did I do wrong, Kevin?
Oh, you're doing everything fine. I was just talking about Paddy. There's only one D in Paddy.
Oh, okay. Only one D. And what does that mean? And what does the Paddy mean?
It means Patrick.
But isn't that the female version? Or is I wrong on that?
Female version is with two P's. My ex-wife was Paddy. My ex-wife was Paddy.
Got it.
In Ireland, it's P-A-T-Y. We're talking about the snakes, St. Patrick driving the snakes out of Ireland. And when I come over here, my skin started peeling off, so I'm part snake.
I love it.
There you go. We got part snake Kevin on AM 1220 here.
Kevin, what are you doing to celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
we're up here at the casino and going up to Roner Park now. We're going around to see a friend of mine, and we're having dinner with them this evening.
Oh, wonderful.
There you go.
Yeah,
the casino, great in casino, right?
We lost our beeries trying to find the place.
There you go. Well, hey, Kevin, thank you so much for calling in. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day.
You too.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Kevin.
Oh,
Thank you very much. I'll need it.
You better be careful.
I'll need it. We're going to have like...
Good thing no one else is listening to this.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have like 250 to 300 Italian and Irish people. It'll
be a lot of fun.
It's going to get pretty wild.
Be better in St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's get back into some real estate a little bit here. What do you want to get into?
Yeah,
next?
let's talk a little bit about again open lines here. But let's talk a little bit about why the real estate and mortgage industry has a little bit of a poor reputation. Again, I could speak more so to the financing mortgage industry. Mike could speak to the real estate. I mean, we work together in both areas, so we're familiar. But another practice that you really have to watch out for in the mortgage industry is that the pricing. When you're quoted an interest rate, make sure you get a good faith estimate. Make sure it's really detailed and cover it with someone that's knowledgeable, because they're very confusing. Good faith estimates are very, very confusing. And there are some companies that manipulate price a little bit. The credit that you get for an interest rate, all I could say is there's a cost to every interest rate. If you're getting a credit on an interest rate, 100% of that credit is, by law, is supposed to go back to the consumer.
Right.
Okay. And there's some ways that that's being manipulated a little bit, and that could be changed. So one of the key components is to really double check is when, first of all, you get a good faith estimate. Make sure you get it in writing. Make sure you review it, and then if you're working with this person for the first time, maybe check with someone to get a totally third party or objective opinion on it. And then also, even more important, when you go to lock your loan, when someone says, "Hey, good news, Mr. Smith, your loan is locked at 4.5%." Get a copy of that lock confirmation that shows the cost or credit to that rate. And they should be able to provide you with a copy of that lock confirmation that shows 4.5%, $300 credit or $200 cost, whatever it is, it's outlined there, and keep it in your file. So that was one of the other things I'd say, Mike, that you really be careful for.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. And some things that people wouldn't really know about unless they weren't listening. And even if you've had a good or a bad experience, give us a call, 1-800-516-1220. In the real estate industry too, there's so many contracts, so many documents that you're signing, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're not paying attention, or if your realtor is not explaining what you're signing, I mean, it could be bad,
point. Right.
So you got to make sure that, number one, your realtor knows what the contracts are saying, because, I mean, that's the most important part, right? If they don't know what they're doing with the contracts, then you don't know what you're doing, and then you could, possibly negotiate the wrong way. So making sure that you're getting all the explanation and really getting educated on what you're doing, let's say on making an offer, or, even selling your house, especially selling your house now when you're getting multiple offers. Making sure that your realtor is vetting every one of those agents, every one of those buyers, and making sure this deal is going to close. You don't want to get into contract with some buyer that's kind of fly by night. So that's a really important part too, is being thorough. And I think that's kind of something you were getting at too in the loan business.
Yeah, and having a good realtor. And let me tell you, I've worked with several of them. Mike is one of them. Is that you do a good job of explaining everything up front, Mike. I think the other part is setting the expectations up front, right?
It's huge.
Too many times we just say, some people say, just sign this, don't worry about it, sign this, we'll get back to it later. But it sounds like we had to take a break, but we could talk more on the other side about that.
I think setting expectations are huge, and I think, honestly, expectations and just in life in general, that's a basis to most arguments. If you don't...
That's a good point.
If you set the expectations wrong and someone else is expecting something different, then you're going to have a conflict. So the same thing happens in loans and real estate.
That's right.
Anyways, we got to take a quick break. You're listening to RE360 Radio on KDOW AM 1220, St. Patrick's Day 2014. Open forum today. Give us a call, 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220. Give us a call on Monday afternoon.
Welcome back to Real Estate 360, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RE360Radio.com. That's RE360Radio.com. Again, your host for today's edition of RE360 Radio, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio and Joe Cucchiara on Real Estate 360 Radio, KDOW, AM 1220. Isn't Kevin the best, our producer back there?
Matter of fact, call in if you love Kevin or like Kevin
there
or
you
whatever.
Go. Yeah, give us a call, 1-800-516-1220. He queued up the old Irish music there.
Good stuff. Good man.
1-800-516-1220. All right. We got a short segment, but let's get back into it a little bit. You know, where do you want to go from here? Do you want to talk about five?
Open lines, but Mike and I are talking about the 5 steps consumers really should be taking when hiring a true real estate professional or mortgage professional. A lot of these are very much the same in our industry. So these are really the 5 things that we believe in, with some variables, but you should be asking. Number 1 would be, what makes the real estate or loan officer different, right? Ask them. So flat out, when you sit across the table, ask them eye to eye, hopefully, if it's the first time you're working with them, just ask them, him or her, say, what makes you different? Why should I work for you?
Right.
And get their response. So if they say something like this, for example, well, I've been doing this for 20 years and, I got great rates and I got great programs and, people generally like me and we close on time. I'm obviously making fun here, but that's not good enough. Mm-hmm. You should hear something about how they operate, how they're going to stay in touch, how they communicate, what their team does, what happens after close, what to expect during the transaction. Like, this is what you'll do. You'll get your approval. You'll get a call once you get your appraisal in. We're going to call about the appraisal. Once you get the docs in, we're going to communicate with the title company. In other words, there should be a very specific reason of what separates those people apart, right, Mike? I mean,
setting expectations. Once again, that's exactly what we're doing, and explaining what the process is, because we in the biz, like, we do this every day, right? So people that are going through this process and this transaction or multiple ones, they don't do this every day. So they need to know what's going on, and you need to, explain it properly.
Right.
And educate them.
Yeah. So the first one would be, again, just flat out ask them, why you? What makes you different? And they should be able to articulate. If they're having a hard time articulating it, or if they say, again, on the real estate or the mortgage side, if they just say something like, come on, they lean back in their chair and go, are you kidding me? Look at my name. Are you kidding me? My picture's on every freaking sign in this city.
Their 10-year-old picture. Their picture 20 pounds ago with more hair, too.
That's a whole nother topic.
We could do a whole show on those.
Don't you love those pictures?
Oh, they're great.
When you see someone's picture and then you see them in person, you go, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah. No, that's
cousin,
that's
aunt,
fun.
uncle.
That's always the funnest. So anyway, okay, what's the next?
Okay, so the second one is to take a step further. So when you ask them, have them demonstrate. What I mean by that is, either you come by their office or have them actually take you through the process. And what I mean, examples would be something like this, right? How do they do things different? Well, here's our systems, here's our processes. What'll happen when you go in the contract, you get an approval letter. Once you get an approval letter, once you get approved, you'll get a call from us. We'll order the appraisal. We'll communicate with that. We'll take you, in other words, have them take you through the loan process first of all.
Right.
And then secondly, most important, this is what I'm a really big fan of and what I just am obsessed with is that what I call aftercare close. So what it depends, all of us are so excited to get this business and close the loan, right? We want to close it. We want to close it on time. We want to be effective. We want to be efficient. We want to have customer satisfaction. Mike, too few people in our industry do a good job with clients after that closes. Of
course.
Right? Staying in touch with them. And I mean calling them every quarter, once a year, checking in. Is there anything I could do for you? Home values are up.
Exactly.
Any remodel. There's always a reason to call your client.
There's definitely always a reason. And it's not too much that you're bugging them all the time either.
No.
There's a fine line between it. And it's just like the call we got earlier in the show is, the guy's not even talking to his client a month after close, So I think making sure you're doing all the things that you mentioned and just being there for them. That's the most important part. You help them buy probably the biggest asset of their life.
Exactly.
Okay. And it's not like they're I always say this analogy. It's not like they're buying a cup of coffee at Starbucks, right?
It's true.
They are buying hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of property, and you need to be there for them after too, not just during, but after. So,
yeah, it's an investment in their future.
Right. Exactly. So number 3 would be.
So going forward, number 3, and I think we got to take a quick break. We'll come back and finish these up. Would be. How can me or Mike in our industry or anyone else, right, how could they keep you better informed as a consumer going forward with education information? And, of course, we're passionate about here on RE360 because that's what we do and that's what we believe in. But that would be another great question to ask them. For instance, you buy a home, you sell a home, regardless. We'll cover it on the other side, but we'll get back to that, Mike, when we come back.
Yeah, we got to take a quick break. You are listening to RE360 Radio on KDOW AM 1220.
Welcome back to Real Estate 360, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RE360Radio.com. That's RE360Radio.com. Again, your host for today's edition of RE360 Radio, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio on RE360 Radio with Joe Cucchiara today. God, that song is great.
Love this music.
It makes you want to just like go jump around, or do the jig.
Right.
Do an Irish jig or something. Anyways, give us a call. We have open forum today, and we got some topics to cover too. But if you have any questions, if you ever thought about calling or asking any questions for us, feel free to do it today. We've already got a couple callers this afternoon. The number is 1-800-516-1220. That's 1-800-516-1220. We'd love to answer your questions. Joe and Mike here on St. Patrick's Day. All right, we got to hit a couple more points to finish up on. We had 5 steps or questions they should be talking about with their professional before hiring them, right?
Right, yeah. We covered through 3. And so the 4th would be ask your realtor or your loan officer, if you're meeting with them to get ready to hire them, it would be what other kinds of resources or connections do they have in the industry that they could provide for you. And let me give you some examples. What that would be, the reason why that's important is, for example, if the reason that's important, if, for example, Mike and I have contacts with, plumbers, contractors, home designers, right? 1031 exchange people. There's so many people in this industry. And if you go to our website, Mike and I also have listed trusted advisors. So you could find people that you could trust, you could work with, in this industry, financial planners, CPAs, tax advice, legal advice. I mean, we could go on and on. So real quickly, number 4 would ask them what kind of other resources they have. If they're well connected in the industry, in the community, then that's a good sign.
I think that's huge too, even with the company that they're a part of as well. I mean, the company's not everything about a person, and I'm not even saying if they're part of a smaller or a big company. It doesn't,
Right.
But what I'm saying is, what are the company's values? Is that company a fly-by-night company, or they've been around for a while, and are they looking, are they ethical? Mm-hmm. Do they have good values? And are they known in the real estate community?
Right.
And so I know the difference between, I had my own brokerage before I moved to Intero, and it was a huge difference. The whole world was open up to me being at a bigger company. Not to say people in smaller companies that's not good, because they definitely have their advantages too. But what does their company stand for, and are they going to represent you as their client well too?
Absolutely.
So.
Number 5, to round it up, is how are they using technology and resources to better communicate? The reason why this is important, ask them about the use of their technology when you're interviewing either realtors or loan officers. Here's the reason why, ladies and gentlemen. This is my belief, is that if you're not continuing to educate yourself in your respective, practice, expertise, whatever you are, that's not a good sign to me. If you're educating yourself on a regular basis, I mean, we go to several seminars each year. We really try to keep up on what's going on in the industry. We spend a lot of time and money and resources on making us a better offer to the consumer. Ask them about the technology. And if someone says something like this, Mike, is a response, don't worry about technology. I just do things the old way I used to do.
Right.
I'd say be cautious of that. I'm not saying technology is everything, but you should stay up on it.
Yeah, and it should be a tool in your toolbox too, I want to get back to that, but it looks like we have a caller, Rod from Daly City. Rod, are you there?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
How you doing, Rod?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I have a question. I have a condominium property, and one of the neighbors in the condominium, they had a remodeling, and I believe they found some asbestos on the ceiling. And so my tenant found out about it, and so now they're asking me a lot of questions regarding, what the effects of those asbestos on the ceiling has to do, maybe because their son has got something like, I think, brain cancer or something like that. And so they were. I'm just kind of wondering what needs to be done on those.
Yeah. Do you have a property manager, or do you manage it yourself?
I'm managing it myself right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, in this case, you want to be really careful about how you're answering questions, and because property management there's so many types of lawsuits that can happen in property management. So you want to be really careful about how you go about doing this. Now, I recommend, I'm not an asbestos expert. I kind of say this all the time, but you really need to get, you really need to get someone that is an expert in their area. And such a serious thing like asbestos, there are people that specialize in that, and we can probably hook you up with somebody with that. But at the same time, you might want to get in touch with a property manager or a property management attorney or someone that can help you deal with the situation in the proper manner.
The other thing, Mike, I'm thinking about, did you say this was a condominium?
Yes, I talked to the homeowners association.
That's what I was going to say, to contact the homeowners.
HOA, homeowner,
HOA,
right. Whatever. And they essentially said there's nothing to worry about that, as long as nobody falls around the ceiling.
When you say relay that message to your tenants, you know what you're going to have sitting in your lap?
Yeah.
A nice old lawsuit.
Now, that's another example. I'm glad we brought this topic, and we'll talk more and more about it. It kind of along the same lines. I mean, I think it's completely irresponsible for someone in an HOA to say, don't worry about it.
Right.
What they should do is give you some information, maybe a referral, an attorney, or an asbestos removal, something you could start doing a little research on to help you make a wise decision on what your next steps are going to be. So don't, you're doing the right thing. We could, if you want to hold on, we could probably provide you with some information, and I would do some research and find out how you could better answer those questions.
Definitely.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Rod. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. I think, he's doing the right thing by calling and asking the question, in the first place, right?
Right.
But I've just heard so many, I hate to keep bringing this up, but I just heard so many horror stories about property management, and there's so many ins and outs. And there's people that travel around the state looking to sue homeowner, owners, right? Because they might be violating some sort of property management rule, And when you start talking about asbestos and things that are serious issues to people, and especially with health, you want to make sure you're going about it the right way, but definitely getting some information from a specialist in that, and we can hook them up with that. So anyways, a little bit more we got to get to on the other side of the break, but it's St. Patrick's Day. 1-800-516-1220. We've had some great calls today. We'll keep them coming. 1-800-516-1220 on St. Patrick's Day afternoon, Monday, March 17th.
Welcome back to Real Estate 360. Streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Again, your host for today's edition of RE360 Radio, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio on RE360 Radio, live in studio today with Joe Cucchiara on St. Patrick's Day. Hey, Joe, did you know that actually the band of the normal song we always have in the intro is an Irish band, The Script?
Oh,
So
seriously?
It's Irish all
I didn't know.
all the way
See
around.
that? I should have known that. I love
Yeah.
that song, of
Yeah.
course, the reason why I have it, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They are
Yeah,
an
look
Irish
at that.
band. Yeah, I know. So
Go Script.
we're
Love
Irish
it.
all year round
Love
around
it.
here. But hey, looks like we have a call. We got to make it a little quick because we're at the end of the show. But Paul in Pleasanton.
Yeah, hi, how you doing?
Good, Paul. How are you?
I'm good. I own a condo which I have rented out. I have renters in there, and I'm wondering if I should have any special insurances, anything over and above the norm, given that I have renters in there. Am I putting myself at any risk?
Right.
Yeah, it's a great question. I would, again, if you want to, so yes, you should really make sure you protect yourself. You have to make sure your coverages are personally taken care of, but you also have to find out, they could have renter's insurance too. So there's two sides of this story here. And what I would do, I would recommend that if you want, so first of all, if you have someone that takes care of your homeowner's insurance, call them and have them run some numbers for you and liabilities and different levels of coverage, and make sure you're covered on both your side and then on the renter's side for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have someone that you work with for homeowners insurance and hazard insurance and that type of thing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you need some help with that, let us know. We certainly have people that are comparable, that are capable in that area. But It's a great question. Absolutely, make sure you have the right coverages for you as the owner of the property, but also the renter's insurance.
Right. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you. Goodbye. Yeah, so I mean that's a good question, and
some great questions.
We had
today.
some really good questions today, and we're gonna have to wrap up here pretty soon. One of the things I want to talk about sometime soon, and maybe we can do a whole nother show. I mean, this could be a whole nother show on it, is the move up or transitional buyer, right? So
absolutely.
In a market like this, people are really concerned with selling their home and not being able to get another place because it's competitive out there, And I guess my real quick overview of that would be, it is a great time to sell, and basically you have the ability to leverage that seller's market into basically getting whatever you want out of the buyers, i.e. free rent back, a long rent back period. It could be months and months before you have to move.
Right.
Or, making sure you're getting the most out of your money and then getting the cash, right? Closing the deal.
Right.
And then you'll be even a more stronger buyer on the other end. And then you'll be able to compete a lot better.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different ins and outs that go along with that. And I think we should we can even do a whole nother show on that. But, we had a great show today. This is
It's a lot of fun.
This is one of my favorite shows ever, Joe. I had a lot of fun. And
we have to do these more often. We'll have to schedule some of these shows where we do stuff together. It's a lot of fun.
Definitely. And, we had a lot of great callers. Thank you so much for calling in today. And if you didn't get your questions in, you can always feel free to reach out to Joe or myself. I'm at mike@re360radio.com. You can send me an email or even call me at 408-357-6177, mike@re360radio. And you could check out the RE360 website, re360.com. Joe, your email?
Yeah, best place, the website, of course, re360radio.com for Mike or me. And then for me, Joe C. at re360radio.com. Or you could always contact me at my direct office. That's 408-342-3755.
And the other thing is you can come out to the Toll House mixers we have every month. That'll be a lot of fun and, get to know us better. And we love seeing all the listeners out there, too.
Absolutely.
So yeah. And then the only other, let's see, what should our question of the week be today? Let's see here. Okay. What was the symbol that St. Patrick used to describe the Holy Trinity to his followers or to the people of Ireland?
Holy smokes.
What was the symbol?
You're rough on people, especially if they've been drinking most of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, people. This is like the Irish symbol. Let's go. You could email me that answer, Mike at RE360Radio, for your chance to win a free pizza. So an Italian item, not an Irish item.
Love it.
So anyways, hey, thank you so much for being in studio with me today, Joe.
A lot of fun. Thanks, Mike.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and
enjoyed it.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope my Irish accent doesn't offend anybody. And we come to you for Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, the RE360 Revolution, as Joe would call it. Thanks for listening in, everyone.
You've been listening to Real Estate 360 on AM 1220 KDOW. For more information on today's program, visit re360radio.com. That's re360radio.com. AM 1220 KDOW.